I'm Jamie, and you're watching Millennial Incantations. And I'm here in my home, and here to tell you that men can be witches too, and they can be good witches. Except for Siren and David, because they thought that it was okay to film without me. They think that just because I had a kid and I have no interest in filming anything or leaving my house means that they can just go and do stuff behind my back. But it's okay. It's not okay, and I'm not okay.
Millennial Incantations. Hi! I'm David.
And I'm Siren.
And you are watching 2/3 of Millennial Incantations.
Jamie's not here with us today because she had a baby, or whatever.
So, moving on.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the obvious fact that men can be witches too. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
So we got the idea to do this video after we posted this image on our social media platforms that reads, "Support male witches." And while we got a lot of positive responses from this, one thing that people kept chiming in to say was, "Don't you mean warlocks?" And, well, the thing is, no, we don't. Because men can be witches. In fact, anyone of any gender can be a witch.
Even me.
Yeah, whatever your gender is. Exactly.
Which is my gender? But in all seriousness, I identify as a witch because I think that it is a cool word. I like that it is easily recognizable, that it comes with its own set of connotations and context. And so I can tell somebody, yo, I'm a witch. And then they kind of know what I'm talking about.
Through the course of this video, we're going to prove to you that men can, in fact, be witches. But furthermore, we just want you to know that any kind of idea about what you can and can't be based on your gender is gatekeeping, and it's weird.
And we don't truck with gatekeepers.
Oh.
Also, I just learned what that term means, and I don't like it.
So where does the idea that only women can be witches come from? Let's talk about the European witch trials. Now, before this period, the word witch could mean anyone, male or female, that was practicing witchcraft. However, as we know, during the European witch trials, women were the vast majority of the victims. So much so that being a witch became equated with something that only a woman could do.
So this idea might stem from the most famous of witch hunter books, the Malleus Maleficarum, which almost singly scoped women out as the main witches, the main maidens of the devil, if you will. And it talked almost exclusively about how magical practitioners who were evil and were mostly women, and this seemed mostly just to keep women down.
In fact, these witch hunters like to say that women were witches because they were the lesser sex, the stupider sex, more likely to be tricked into service with the devil. So historically now we know that the European witch trials were not actually about hunting down actual witches. The witch trials were in fact basically a war on women.
So that was back then. What about now?
These ideas about women being witches that started in the witch trials have trickled down into pop culture. And as we know, pop culture is a huge informant of what people think and think that they know. So we're gonna bring up a couple of examples about how this witch warlock and witch wizard dichotomy gets propagated through mass media to this day, leading people to believe that witch is exclusively a feminine term. So we're gonna start with Charmed, and I love Charmed, and they did get better about this, but in season 1, Charmed portrayed exclusively women as the bearers of witchcraft. In one episode, Prue claims that her children will only be witches if they're girls, and in another episode, Piper claims that witchcraft is a chick thing.
In a different series, let's talk Sabrina, old school, Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina.
The better one.
Oh.
Sorry.
Not sorry. Witches were exclusively female, and any male practitioners of magic were either warlocks or, I think in a couple episodes, there were actual wizards. But even wizards and warlocks, there were distinctions, so Like, some men can be warlocks, but also wizards. But if you're a girl, you're always a witch. Like, I don't get it.
And the warlock-witch dichotomy is something that they did carry over into the new Sabrina, right?
Yeah. So basically, if you're a female, again, you're a witch. And if you're a male, you're a warlock. And according to their Church of Night canon, a warlock is better. We got problems with you, Sabrina girl.
Just a little bit.
Just a lot, actually.
And for our last example, the Harry Potter series. They don't use the word warlock so much, but women in Harry Potter universe are exclusively witches, and men are always called wizards. Now, gender essentialism in a series by J.K. Rowling, weird.
Groundbreaking.
And another example of how pop culture propagates the idea that only women can be witches is by creating witchy shows and movies that just leave men out altogether. It's not discussed whether or not men can be witches. It's simply shown that there are witches in this universe and they are all women. And this includes things like The Craft and Practical Magic.
And really, references in general. Whenever there is a practitioner of magic, typically they are going to be female, and typically they are going to be described as a witch in some way. If this person happens to be male, typically they're going to call them a warlock or a wizard or some sort of magician or something. They're going to get a separate name. They're not really going to be called a witch necessarily.
And tragically, this tradition of saying that only women can be witches can even be found in some actual witch authors in modern times. Now, we're not going to spend a huge amount of time on these people because I don't care for them, but it will give you some examples. Okay, so this is from the book Witch by Lisa Lister. Essentially, it seems that her entire book is dedicated to the fact that only cisgender women can be witches, that you literally need a vagina to be a witch, and everything else is just crap. So here's a little excerpt from the very beginning of her book. I'll piss off men for not addressing them as witches. I'll piss off the transgender community for not addressing them either. Yet this is the work I do. I do women's work, and I'm definitely not going to apologize for that. Can you imagine starting off any work and putting your name on it and saying explicitly in the beginning that you don't care about men or trans people? What is this? Because this is not the witchcraft I'm practicing, sister. Sorry, not sorry.
And it's really just sort of degrading, honestly, that she is saying that she is trying to further the feminist agenda in this way, and yet she herself is denigrating women to the biological function of their sex.
Okay.
So, like, are you really doing anything helpful? I don't think so.
Or are you just being, like, kind of icky?
Yeah, you're being really mean and not inclusive at all.
Yeah. And another author that we're going to bring up is Z Budapest, the founder of Dianic Wicca. Now, we did say some nice things about her in a previous episode that I will stand by because she fought the power yo. However, she is a well-known TERF, and that stands for Trans Exclusive Radical Feminist, and she's well-known for not wanting any men at all to be in her tradition. So I'm just gonna pull off this brief quote from her website that I think sums it up. This is a woman-only space for females born female. If you truly love the goddess, then respect her Dianic tradition. Go, honey.
No disrespect to the goddess. Like, all power to women, love ya, think you're great. But to just exclude everybody else, like, that seems limiting. And that does not seem indicative of the goddess's love or whatever.
So when we put this all together, the idea that only women can be witches seems to stem from 3 sources, and that is transphobia, sexism, and fantasy television series. What? And these are not, I'm sorry, they're not great sources of wisdom. They're just not.
So, like, how do we feel about all that crap?
talk about where the word witch actually comes from. It stems from two Old English words,
which were witche and witcha. We're almost 100% certain about that pronunciation. Witche, witcha. You know, like witcha.
Now, back then, almost every word for a person was gendered based on whether you were perceived as a male or female. So witche was the feminine version and witcha was the masculine version. And we draw two conclusions from this. One, the fact that originally there was a word exclusively for male witches means, get this, men can always and could always be witches.
And two, these two gender-specific words later fused into one neuter, non-gendered word.
Witch.
Witch!
For everyone.
Even you.
So we've rather briskly proven to you that witches could always be men or women, and they still can be either men or women or any other gender identity, all of which are valid, no matter how new they are, by the way. But I thought it would be cool if we also delved into the other two gendered words that we've discussed through this video, warlock and wizard. So warlock comes from the original word werloga, wer meaning faith and loga meaning lie, and it was literally translated as oath breaker. A lot of witches seem to believe that a warlock broke their oath to their coven, so basically a warlock was a witch who betrayed their coven and was now a warlock. This definition has absolutely no validity in history whatsoever. The connotation of oathbreaker that was applied to these men came from the Catholic Church. It was assumed that warlocks broke their oath to the Catholic Church by consorting with the devil. And now, of course, we know again historically that none of these things ever happened to anybody. Like, ever.
But anyway, as people do, these words can be reclaimed. We feel like we've pretty much already reclaimed the word witch. Like, at this point, it's basically like the coolest significator ever.
It's like the coolest thing you can be.
Like, if you can't be anything else, you should be a witch, and then you're gonna be awesome.
I would know. I'm a male witch.
Yeah, male witch. And so, people are doing the same for warlock.
And really, heathen, pagan, witch, they're all reclaimed words. Hell, queer is a reclaimed word that used to be a slur and now just describes a beautiful, thriving, accepting community.
Yeah.
So, why not warlock?
And also, why gender that word? Ladies, you wanna be a warlock?
I support you.
Be a warlock. Support women warlocks.
Oh my god, should I make an image of that?
Oh my god.
Everyone hate me?
Totally do it. Yeah, support women warlocks. I love it.
To top off this conversation, I'm going to read to you a quote from Storm Fairywolf, and this is in his article, The Rise of the Warlock, which was published on the Pathos blog, which was a hell of a great read and changed my perspective about the entire thing. And you'll find a link to it in the description below. So here's what Storm has to say about calling himself a warlock. I feel that to adopt such a term better enables us as men to delve into what it means to be a man practicing witchcraft, to seek the sacred masculine in relation to the sacred feminine. It can help teach us how to be better men so that we can be better to women, to ourselves, and to the world. When I call myself a warlock, I am not seeking to make myself better than women. I am reaching deep inside and embracing all of my parts. I am exploring and redefining masculinity in a way that includes the spiritual, the magical, and the sexual.
So the word wizard really just means a wise person. So from that definition, you would believe that really any wise person could be called a wizard. But no, according to most of our references, to be a wizard you must 1. Have a beard. 2. Pointy blue hat with stars on it.
I wish I had a pointy blue hat with stars on it.
3. Possible matching robes.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, definitely.
And then 4, you have to probably get saddled with some really annoying kid.
like Jamie's doing right now.
She's such a wizard.
Oh my gosh. You know what I was just thinking? The fact that wizard means wise person, and that, like, in literature, wizard is always a man and never a female. That is sexist. That's basically saying that women are not wise people. Oh my god.
Which is weird because most wise women are actually too busy being accused of being witches.
Being a witch.
And
The point is, I hate sexism, and I don't really like the word wizard either, because to me it's just very like fantasy, like D&D, like this is like not real magic, and like wizards can like throw fireballs at people who piss them off, and I can't do that, and I wish that I could. So I'm angry for a lot of different reasons. But just like with warlock, if you want to call yourself a wizard, then I think that's awesome. Like, go for it.
yeah, you be you, wizard.
Witchcraft, magic in general, is all about self-empowerment. So you should feel empowered to call yourself whatever the hell you want. Okay? As long as it's not like cultural appropriation.
So I suppose in conclusion, really, what we just want you to know is that if you're a witch, like, be a witch. If you're something else, then be that too, okay? It's really fine. Magic is about releasing yourself from limitations and expanding your perception and really communing with the world and the universe at large. It's not about telling people they can't be something. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's gatekeeping, and it's weird.
And we don't approve.
Throughout the course of this video, we've given you a lot of reasons to believe that anyone, regardless of gender, can be a witch. And while it's great to have historical and etymological resources at your back, there's just one true main reason that we all need to believe that anyone can be a witch. Because witchcraft is about empowerment and bettering your life and bettering your spirit, who you are as a person. And that kind of magic should not be denied to anyone, ever. Especially if it's based on something as trivial and unimportant as physical sex. Okay?
Yeah. So, like, go be a witch.
Go be a warlock.
Go be a wizard.
Go ahead and like our video.
Go subscribe to us on YouTube.
Go ahead and like us on Facebook.
Go talk to us on our Twitter.
Go and what do you do on Instagram? Go do something on Instagram.
And then, like, fall on our Tumblr or something.
Yeah, our Tumblr. I'll update that any day now. Yeah. Yeah. So, we hope you liked our first video without Jamie.
And if you didn't, still like and subscribe. Okay?
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye. So what are some other things that it's totally okay for men to do?
Wear makeup.
Have long hair.
Paint their nails.
Wear dresses.
Care about other people.
Be feminist.
Cry at movies.
Hold hands with other men in public.
Show affection. At all.
Have feelings.
At all.
Reject toxic masculinity.
Support women.
Be assigned female at birth. Yeah, I'd say men can do all of those things too.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, would I say that it's the best we've ever done? No, obviously, because, you know, I wasn't there. But I guess, like, I have to, like, be there and be present and interested now, which is just something I'm not willing to do. So, like and subscribe. Bye!